Welcome back to Chaska, Minnesota, home of the 2024 5 and Under National Championship. I'm Dave Dickinson, joined by experienced 5 and Under skip Ben Hoppy.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you, Ben. So you've been watching the games out here this week. You're an alternate for one of the teams. What are you seeing in terms of the ice speed and curl out here in Chaska?
The ice is fantastic. The ice crew here is just crushing it. They're doing such a great job with the facility, the ice, everything here is just great. We have seen it pick up a little bit in speed throughout the course of the week, so there has been a little bit of adjusting that's needed to happen. And we've seen a little bit more curl in the rocks as well as the week has gone on, which I think is probably to be expected. I think they papered the rocks just before the event. So we've seen some adjustments, but everyone seemed to make those adjustments along with the ice and the rocks as well.
Great. You can see the standings in this pool on screen now. We've got a little bit of a log jam, so this game is going to go a long way in helping us figure out what the results of this pool look like. There are 4 pools of 6 teams, and the top 2 teams from each pool are going to advance. So this game is going to be very important in determining which teams are moving forward for the 5 and Under National Championship.
Everyone's right there. It's anybody's game.
Yep. You can see all the lineups going on, and this is the 4th game for these teams. They played 2 games yesterday, and they had a game at 8 a.m. this morning, which is everyone's favorite draw time, and another game now at 4 p.m. Central Time.
Having those 2 different draw times, you either have a really good sleep schedule or a really good food schedule, so you have to decide which one's best for you or hope you get which one you would prefer.
Our game today is between the Haina rink and the Binish rink. The Haina rink is probably going to be the farthest away from this event, or traveling the farthest. They're coming all the way from Alaska. The Binish rink is one of the 2 Milwaukee teams that are here. So again, that Alaska team is David Haina, Andrew Gadow, Andy Miller, and Pete Condon. While the Binish rink is Austin Binish, Charles Zingsheim, Kevin Schultz, John Purcell, Steve Kramer, and Coach Thomas Leha. And Ben, you've played both these teams at some point in the past couple of years, so what do you know about these teams?
These teams, I think this has the potential to be a really close game. Each team can be really strong. You're going to see Austin in the Binish rink play a little bit more of a conservative game. They tend to it's like the death by 1,000 paper cuts. You just have a lot of rocks in play, and Austin's draw weight is killer, and Charles is probably the best sweeper in this entire event. So they're going to be able to make a lot of shots. Charles helps to make a lot of shots for his teammates. And the Haina rink out of Fairbanks, when they're on, they can hang with anybody. Dave is a really good curler. He does a great job managing ends, just trying to keep himself in the game. And if they can stay confident and stay within their game, know what they can do and execute their shots, they can be right there throughout this entire thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, Charles sweeps rocks like they stole his lunch money. And that guy really likes to eat. So, yeah, this is going to be a great game. Very excited for this.
I will never tire watching a good sweeper, and watching Charles sweep is a joy every single time. I'm looking forward to see it.
Absolutely. So we're just about to get into the warm-up slides, and teams will be delivering the first rocks in a moment here. Well, we've got a moment. We do want to say thank you for everyone for making this possible. This is the first time we've ever had live streaming at a 5 and Under national event, and I think we've heard really good feedback so far. We appreciate people watching. USA Curling is grateful to the generous donors who helped make this happen. We've got Andy Miller, Ken Pomeroy, Matt Apisos, Tessa Brocky, David Hurst, and Ramin Gilbert. Thank you so much for your donations. Dean Gemmel also wanted to let people know that if they want to see more events like this in the future, that they can donate money specifically for a 5 and Under live stream by earmarking it when they make a donation to USA Curling. Also, Dean loves to get emails from interested USCA members, so please find Dean's email address on the USCA website. Send him an email. Let him know how much you care about this and that you'd love to see him some more. All right, and here we go, getting underway. So the Alaska rink is going to try to clog up the middle here without hammer.
Little tight.
And the Milwaukee rink from Binish is going to try
Weight
to
looks
keep
good.
that open.
Close, 3.
I like the weight.
2, maybe.
I'd say on its own.
Okay.
We're probably cross center, but that's okay.
Right.
Hi, Pete. Nice shot.
Nice shot, Pete.
Austin electing to draw in out in the wings.
We've seen a little more from teams this year, more than past years, I feel like, where you'll see a center line guard come out, and teams really like to play into the house with hammer, see what the other team's going to do. Hit and rolls are hard to make, but especially for 5 and under, it's always interesting to see when people are coming into the house, when they're going to challenge.
Yeah, the hits on this super swingy ice are definitely more difficult than on a straight sheet of
Top
ice.
house. About same weight.
Yeah. Same shot. We got the sweep.
Little tight.
Yeah, I got 4.
A little bit for line. A
About
little
the
bit for
same.
line.
About the same. I got it.
Yep. Far as you can. Far as you can.
There it goes.
Little tick off of that's good. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
All right.
Okay, good pair from the lead here from David's rink. Got a couple centers up.
Definitely keep Austin busy out front, that's for sure.
Better. Bit more.
Charles try to pound this one inside if they can get it there. Nice sweep.
Yeah, it should be good. Maybe a little lighter.
Line looks good.
84. We're good.
Where's the weight?
We're pretty good.
I'd go a little bit line. A little bit line. Yeah, Pete too. Yeah.
Yeah, go, 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 go.
It was good to go early on this swingy ice.
Hard all day.
It's
Hard all day.
really challenging finding that break point out there. I think it's one of the biggest things that we were trying to identify in our pregame practices and pre-event practices. Where is that thing breaking? How can you get onto that at the right time? Especially when ice gets to be this swing, you almost need to anticipate right before it gets to that spot. That's the joys that you have of growing as a skip, is the ice reading ability can be really challenging, and sometimes you need challenging ice conditions to be able to learn better on some of that, and this is a great place to learn where those things are.
Absolutely. I feel like the weight's close here. I heard him say top 4. They're kind of going for line. Again, really swingy line there. Just through.
Both of these skips do have the benefit of playing on very, very good ice. I know the Milwaukee Curling Club generally has really, really good ice, and I had the privilege of being able to play up in Fairbanks, and their ice was incredible there this year. So I know both clubs do a fantastic job. These are really lucky teams to have such great conditions at home.
I'd go for line.
And you were there for the 5 and under?
Correct, yes. I went to the Fairbanks 5 and under.
Hard line.
I had the opportunity to play David actually
Line
in the
only,
final
line
in
only.
Fairbanks. Great team and great community in that club
Hard.
as well.
Hard.
You won't have that happen here this weekend, but the folks in Fairbanks love to show up for their teams, show up for their players, and when they make a shot, they are all banging on the glass, and it is an awesome experience. I didn't love it when Dave put up a 3 against me, but I did have to smile when I just hear all the banging on the glass behind it. It's great. It just makes for such a cool environment to play in. Just fantastic people and great fans of the sport and great growth of the sport thanks to people like that.
That's awesome. How many teams were there that were non-Alaska teams?
I think there were 3 Alaska teams that were there, 3 or 4. So we had, I think, 16 teams signed up. There was a last-minute cancellation. So I believe there was 15 teams in total. And I want to say it was 11 or 12 from the lower 48.
Wow.
Made the trip up there. I mean, my team came from Texas, and what just an incredible experience. There was a huge aurora on the Saturday night that we were there. Just, you couldn't have asked for a better experience for any of us.
That's awesome.
Got a lot going out front in this one. So if you get anything buried in there, there's a lot of rocks to have to navigate.
Line looks good. I'd hold it.
Line's good. Hold on.
Whoa, take a look.
Yeah,
Easy,
Austin's
easy
got
look.
hammer, but he's kind of let so many guards build up there. I'm not sure he can
Pete.
really clear effectively
Pete.
anymore.
Yeah, Pete.
We'll find out.
Whoa, whoa, let it curl. Let it work. Let it work. Let it work.
On its own. On its own.
All right, Andrew.
Okay.
Get a little
right.
wick and spin it to the back 4. If you're going to blow it up, now's kind of your last chance, I think, to do it. They are sitting second, so if they can find a way to get that rock out, that's going to be a good outcome.
Yeah, I think at this point it just becomes, with that many rocks in play, if you're not going to blow it up, it's just a race to the 4-foot. First person to the 4-foot here is probably going to get the score in some fashion.
Back line. Pack.
Calling a lot of weight.
Back line.
Austin's on plan B.
Okay. Okay. It's wider.
Where's the weight?
It's wider. Gotta let it curl.
They said same weight on that one, so
Line.
see if this one has manages to come down or not.
Yep, there it goes. There it goes.
Whoa, take a look. Yeah, line. Yeah. Might as well. Oh. Nice, Andrew. Great draw.
Any polar bears in Alaska on that trip?
No polar bears. No polar bears. Just we didn't really get to see any wildlife when we were up there. That was probably the only thing we didn't see. I don't know if I should say this, but we ate some good wildlife out there. So they had a great Alaskan potluck on one of the nights. So there was salmon and caribou and moose, all kinds of delicious things from both land and sea.
Nice.
It's better.
And how much daylight did you get during the day out there?
So this was in mid-February, and we had about 8 hours of daylight.
Okay.
So it was about 9 to 5 or so, but it was always really low in the sky. It always felt like it was golden hour. So that was a little bit of a tricky thing to try and manage.
Great draw weight there. Hung a little bit more out than they were hoping, but going to make Hana play at it.
2 feet, 2.5 feet.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, he should have a pretty clear shot at this. Now he is coming from the left hack, so he probably buried it just a hair from there, but should be able to make this play. Just don't overthrow it. Don't wreck into those guards and move any of those yellows up.
Wide.
Whoa,
No,
whoa,
no.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
No, no, no.
That's way wide. Way wide.
We're going to get a bounce. Just watch the roll. Just watch the roll. Okay. All right.
He's had a couple nice little wicks off of those corners, corners on in. Not what they intended, but still works out for the most part for them.
Sergeant's fine there.
What do you like here, Ben?
This is such a challenging situation. I really think you just have to
Those
draw
same
in.
smells?
You've got backing, that yellow rock
No,
as
it
a
was right-
backer, and
that
if
was
you
right
ever
here,
sit
both
that
wide
on
side.
the corner, I think it might be able to potentially jam on that back stuff, depending on where exactly you're sitting. But I think you just have to try and get one in there, get to a shot, make Dave at least deal with one of those yellows in some fashion.
Yep. Like the line.
Looks like they're just trying to play a guard
Roll
here,
it.
which is perfectly fine. Just guard up for your one.
Yep.
Yeah, he'll have a shot to do something with his last one.
Yeah.
Might be a little bit of a circus shot, but he
John,
can
John.
probably find a way to try to get a deuce with minimal risk.
Yep. There's a reason that Austin won 3 5 and under Bonspiels this year, and I won 0. So I will trust to defer to his expertise on some of these.
Yeah, Austin is the number 2 overall seed this year.
What do you, that's pretty much shut down.
Austin
Unless we come
qualified
around it.
through, well, technically through 3. His
Sorry, so
first
sorry.
event that
Could
he
just
won
kinda
was the
sneak in
Matt
here.
Anthony
Prevent
5 and
it.
under Bonspiel
Yeah.
in Fort Wayne, Indiana. He
Yeah, 'cause
also
we can't do anything here.
managed to win a final in Kettle Moraine at the Midwest Cup,
Try to
as
come
well
around
as
that
the
and put it
Portage
inside.
5 and under, and a runner-up in Stevens Point against Matt Mellon's rink out of Duluth. Very successful season for Austin's team.
I think we just got to come around that one rock and clog it up to kind of prevent two. I don't. The angles aren't really working for us here.
Yeah, I love this conversation and talk here. So many times newer curlers get focused on trying to steal and trying to be shot all the time. Force is a great, great outcome. Giving up one and getting the hammer back is a fantastic result almost all of the time.
No, no,
Can't hurt for line.
no. Don't touch it.
Whoa, stay close.
Don't touch
Andy.
it. God, curl, curl, curl,
Andy.
curl.
Andy all day.
Andy, Andy, Andy.
Andy
Yep,
all
hard,
day.
Hard, hard.
Don't hate that at all.
It's all right. That's all right.
I really like that
that
spot. I think that's a great. It takes away some of those circus opportunities that Binish might have had to throw here. So I do not mind that shot. And
So how does Austin get a deuce here?
I don't think he does, which it looks like he's actually thrown it away. So
All right, there you go. Not even going to make an attempt.
take his one with a bundle of red sitting all around the house.
And we'll take a quick break and be back for the second end in a moment. So coming into the second end, you see both teams huddling up and having a little chat. Ben, what do you like to talk about in a situation like that where it's between ends, you know, it's early in the game? What do you talk about as a team, and what's your focus there?
One of the biggest things, just especially early in the game,
Yeah.
if you are seeing
Good
anything
guard.
different in the ice as that game goes along, I mean, it's obviously going to be changing throughout, and you had your 10 minutes of practice, but
Yeah,
anything that
forwards.
you're noticing with some of those shots,
Coming down.
maybe if there was a shot that was missed, if there was any corrections you need to make. The other thing that I always like to talk about, no matter the time of the game, is try to get really specific on what is the result that we want to have in this end. What are we aiming for?
Let's go top house.
What's an objective we're looking for? What is not good to have happen? So that way we can start to all be on the same page of what we're looking for. So front end, back end, all knows kind of the same type of shots that we're probably going to be looking at.
Love that. Got a perfect lead rock there from John Purcell. Really nice shot. Right on the
Looks
center
like
line.
plenty of room. Weight only.
We got room?
Yeah, for weight. Hard for weight. I'd go curl. I'd go curl. Hard curl. Whoa, 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 whoa. Finish it.
All right.
Nice rock, Pete.
Good rock, Pete.
David electing to come around. Now that rock was on the center line. We've seen a couple times so far the no-tick rule come into play where a rock is bumped off the center line. Have you played the no-tick rule at a lot of the clubs or bonspiels that you've been at this year? It seems like it's kind of hit or miss in terms of which clubs and
same.
bonspiels are implementing it.
So this year, I really only played at 5U Bonspiels, so I didn't go to any other non-qualifying events. Every qualifier event, I believe every qualifier event I went to had the no-tick rule in place. So it's getting really common, especially if something is serving as a qualifier for this. We don't do it at my home club, but I also play on arena ice, and so it's a little unfair to have a no-tick rule when you might not have a
Yellow's
choice
one.
but to tick a rock that's in play. I think Binish was probably aiming for a corner freeze or a freeze onto that red.
Let's
So
try a
just
little bump.
hair heavy.
Just T.
Yep.
Just T. Same line, similar weight. Where's the
6-9.
weight?
It's
Up.
up. It's up. Weight's up.
Line.
Can we get yellow?
Whoa. It's gotta curl a mile. Gotta curl a mile. It's gone. It's all right, Pete. It's all right.
So just a little heavy, a little wide. But again, you hear the teams being really supportive of each other. Hey, that's okay. Make the next one.
And I love the way that David communicates with his players before he's calling a shot, so they know exactly what kind of weight he's looking for. I think he's really clear with his instructions on what he's expecting from them, and that helps so much for those throwers to know what they need to do. Really nice shot there.
Yeah.
I really like that spot.
I like a bump again.
Try it again.
Again, Hana does have hammer here, but putting a lot of rocks in play is going to make it an
80,
interesting
85.
end.
60. 60, we're
Stay
a little
close.
up. We're a little up. It's going to come down.
Gotta curl a mile.
Not a lot of handle on
Are
that
we
rock,
yellow?
so it might just curl a mile.
If you don't throw a heavy handle on this ice, it can really take off on you.
Okay, let's bring the weight down.
I've seen that a few different times, and that can be helpful. If you miss your shot wide and you have a light handle, you still make your shot. But you have to be really careful with that. It's such a tight thing to try to follow, throwing the proper rotation for the shot that you want to throw.
You know both these skips. You know a bunch of other players here. What are some of your favorite things about the 5 and under community?
I think it's this great mix of competitive nature with also the community that you get in curling in general, but especially 5U. We're all kind of learning the game together. We're all growing up together. And especially if you start going to more and more events, you really start to have this great experience, like seeing the same people over and over. I've had the opportunity now to play with some of the people I've played against or play against the
Looks to
same
be
teams
one red.
over and over. And you just make these constant connections. I was so glad to have the opportunity to be here this week because I get to get reunited with all these people I've met constantly over the past few years. So
We can guard it up.
even
We
if
can draw.
your team doesn't have
You like the draw?
aspirations of
I like the
getting
guard.
to the 5 and under national championship,
guard.
it's such a great place to go for an event because you
Leave it
can
tough,
go and
though.
hang out with people that are going to be of the same
Yep,
mindset.
otherwise
Some
they're
want to
coming straight down on
qualify,
us.
some just want to have a good time, and everybody kind of finds that great mix together. You don't really have any drama that happens at these. It's just it's a party, it's a good
78.
time, and there's always good
Where's the
curling
weight?
at the same time.
It's close. Keep in mind the curl, though.
I'd
Andy's
go for
gonna-
line.
It's going to move. Yeah, keep it straight.
And you've curled in a bunch of 5 and under spiels. What are some of your favorites and why?
So I'd say each spiel has its own characteristics or things that they do really, really well.
Yeah, I think it's still there.
I think the Fairbanks qualifier probably was my favorite one that I've done any year, just from the warm, welcoming atmosphere of the club itself. The food was great. They have from scratch made danishes every morning that are just to die for. So great food at those, and like I mentioned the ice earlier, those ice conditions are incredible, and it's always fun when people are pounding on the glass for made shots.
Control.
So that was for me personally, that was my favorite one. And this year they also did full timing, so it was a great prep for teams that have never played with timed games and officiating. They put on a great event for everybody, and that community showed out with volunteer hours to make that happen. So that's probably my favorite one. I also love the Madison spiel. You're always going to have a good time in Madison. And I know Mason and Lauren do a great job there with putting that one on. So those are two of my
We can
favorite
throw
ones.
some heat at this.
I wish I had found the Fairbanks one sooner. I would have tried to go back more often, but
These are
I was
kinda
always
jumble
returning
up.
to Madison.
That's awesome.
I like a normal.
Normal?
So a really nice tap back there from the Binish
Just
rink.
on nose.
On
They
nose, normal on nose.
hit
got it.
the red, yellow, red, or the yellow, red, yellow combo.
Yeah,
And
even
spilled
even
the
if you're a
red in the
little
back of
on
the
this
rings.
side, it's okay.
Now they're sitting, I believe, 3.
Okay. All right.
They don't have hammer, but David needs to do something about the fact that they're sitting 3. Throws a lot of heat at this, like he said. Can get at least 2 of those rocks to go.
Line.
Hard line.
And I actually really like where their red is here because it's in a
Whoa!
position that you can use it. So it's really helpful to have that red in that
On its
spot.
own.
Let it come down. Let it come down.
Okay.
Great outcome. Looks like Austin is shot and thinking about either coming down to it or putting up a guard.
Yeah, at this point in the end, you're really going to see these two skips try to take from the setup phase of the end to now they're trying to kind of make their adjustments so that they either have a shot on their last to do what they want to do to reach their objective, or to try and take their opponent away from the objective that they're looking for. So it's like Austin's just trying to maybe eliminate some reds here.
Yeah, I think the call was sort of a down 2, but it was a little heavy and a little wide. Not a bad outcome. Didn't like David sitting 2 and 3 there, so now it's
I
just
like a good board on this. Board.
Okay.
2, but if he makes this, he will be 1-2 with hammer.
They do have to be careful here with where they leave the shooter, because if that shooter at all either just rolls just a little bit to the right, and if it doesn't roll far enough, there's going to be a double right back for Austin,
Line.
and then it's a whole
line.
lot of yellow that's sitting and out.
Hard.
Hard.
Right.
Hard.
Hard.
Hard. Okay.
Just over curled a hair, but that's not honestly the worst leave in the world. That actually you can now, again, similar to Andrew's previous or first rock, that's a rock that you can now use and run that straight back. That becomes a little bit of a problem rock for Austin here.
Yeah, they're just going to try to guard this up. Happy to leave the open draw path on the other side. Always, generally speaking, you're comfortable with leaving the opposing skip a draw if they've got to touch the button to get one. It's a pretty good outcome for your team. Again, a force here is great. So Austin would love to steal, of course, but if he can force David to one, that's a good result as well.
So far, we're keeping play really for the most part on the right-hand side of the sheet. So Dave does have draw path on that left side if he needs to. If he's finding himself getting forced, if the guard's made well, he's still got a way to get in.
Keep holding it. Keep holding it. Whoa.
Holding that for line. It's over curling a little bit. I think they can probably get there with some down weight stuff if they want to be aggressive. Not an easy shot to make, but it's there.
Should we try coming around the other side?
Yeah, certainly not an easy shot.
That's the wise
Without
thing
the
to do.
overhead view,
Come in and try to put it in.
it almost looks
Yeah,
like there
plenty of
might
room.
be an angle for an in-off double or a double off of those two yellows, but that you're going to probably leave a rock hanging out there for Austin to come at. But looks like Dave's looking for a safe shot. Nothing wrong with a safe shot.
Yep, he said, his comment there was this is the smart shot, he said.
I think if we can't bury it, top house is better than deep. Yeah. Any idea for times? Shot in the dark here.
He did talk about the fact that they haven't played this line, so they
I'd
don't
help for
necessarily
line.
know what to expect over
Line's
here.
priority.
How's the weight? Yes, yes, yes. Andy, yeah.
It's diving like crazy.
It's diving.
Whoa.
It's diving. Easy, easy. We're well in the guard.
Yeah, good rotation on that rock. It just curled a ton on that line. And we've seen that line curl super hard this week. Seen a number of teams throw rocks that I didn't even think there was a shot there, but those guards become a lot less effective when the ice is curling as hard as it is here in Chaska.
Absolutely, and I know we found it. I think there might be. I'm not sure which rock they're throwing, which one, but I know that we seem to find that there was at least one red rock that might move a little bit more. So if the skip has that rock, it could be really helpful, but it can also be a little bit challenging too.
Right.
The good side for, even though that didn't work out the way Dave wanted it to, he at least has that feel so he can make that draw on the next rock if he wants to.
Absolutely. Austin getting a chance to learn the line there a little bit from David's rock and taking a little more broom.
Hold the line. Yeah, line.
Ew,
Great
just
sweep.
Snuck it around.
What a fantastic hold by those sweepers. Like we talked about at the beginning, having Charles on the broom for you can make a whole lot of shots.
He's a little bit of a cheat code in a 5 and under sweeper.
Such a great team shot. Great weight from Austin to give it to the
Do you
sweepers
think
as
that
well.
weight was
Yes.
okay that I just threw? I think it was a little light. Shocker.
No offense to other teams, but other teams are not going to be able to make that same shot with that same line. They're going to need to take more broom because their sweepers are not going to be able to hold that out there.
Line looks
We
better.
go, line's better. How's the weight? Easy. Never. Yes, Andy. Yes, Andy. Yes, Andy.
Yeah, line.
Yes. Go, go. Hurry, 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 hurry. Hurry. All the way. All the way. Okay, off, 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 off.
Wow.
Beautiful shot. They did take a little more broom, a little more weight, punched out Austin's shot, sit
Yep.
one of their own.
And you can tell just how much it really is curling off of that center part of the building when they said never. And within just a couple seconds later, oh, actually, we need to get on it for a line.
Never means not right now.
Exactly.
Great throw there by David to get one from that end instead of giving up a two. That's a swing of 3 points. We'll be back for the third end in a second.
Line's a little tight. Line's priority.
That's all right. You can get it there.
Really good shots
Yep,
here from
hard
both
as you
these
can.
teams. Tight game as you'd expect from two solid teams here at
Hard.
5 and under nationals, and they're already got a number of games under their feet, so they're settled in, know what to
Maybe.
expect.
Right.
Both playing well.
They know what's at stake, and they're living up to what they need to do here. It's always fun to see a bunch of made shots, especially shots that are really challenging like that in clutch situations.
Yeah, and Austin was a silver medalist in Los Angeles a couple years ago, so definitely has a lot of 5 and under nationals experience. David was at 5 and under nationals last year in Hibbing, so again,
Probably
both
guard,
these teams,
guard.
it's not their first rodeo.
I think Austin played with a pretty good skip last year, if I remember.
I don't think that skip was good enough.
Could have got it on.
So, yeah, I was lucky enough to play with Austin and Charles last year. Had a great time with those guys, and
Top house.
yeah, we
Second behind.
enjoyed our time in Hibbing.
I still remember the walking in at the same time as you guys into Hibbing. Great way to walk into a national championship, walking up to Dean Gemmel saying, "Where do you want the trophy?" Great entrance. Love that.
428.
I was also glad
Fine.
you weren't in my
Little
group.
ad.
I see the
How's the line?
trophies right behind us there, so.
Yeah,
Little
hard.
Light with a push.
Yeah, it's one of the
Hard.
great things about the 5 and under too, right? Like the first year that was won by a team out of Nutmeg. Second year was a team out of San Francisco and Silicon Valley. Third year was Madison. Fourth year was Point. Fifth year, we'll see where we end up this year, but it's really
Nice, Pete.
kind of all over the United States. Great representation from clubs around the country. Always a very competitive event.
Absolutely, and that's one of the benefits of the qualifier system, the way it's set up. It's obviously a lot different from a lot of the other national championships,
on its own.
but it creates some opportunities for people from clubs that you might not ever get to come across. That's one of the reasons I love traveling. I played in, I think, 5 different time zones this year, and I got to meet people from California, Washington, Alaska, the Carolinas, and then you get to an event like this, and everybody all comes into that one place, and it's just a fantastic, great way to meet all these people with the same interests that you have.
It's so cool. It's such a great event.
So I'm really looking forward to
Clubhouse.
seeing what other clubs are going to be hosting, qualifying or put in a bid to host a qualifying event next year. the thing is, if you apply to host a qualifier, it's going to fill.
Right.
It's easy to sell those things out. I think the Denver qualifier this year managed to fill in 13 minutes, I believe. Their website went down. They opened 2 registrations at the same time.
Line
So
looks pretty
it's a
good.
great way to get more people into your club.
Where's the weight?
And 5U curlers are never shy to spend money on raffles
Yep.
either.
Hurry hard.
Little Pete. Get Pete.
Hard.
Yeah, I give USCA a lot of credit for that. A couple years ago in Los Angeles, I remember Dean talking about how he wanted to get to 23 qualifying
I don't hate
events.
that.
And at the time, I was like, that'll never happen. I thought he was insane because 5 and unders back then were still not filling, right? So they'd have to cancel them because they couldn't get enough teams. But USCA has done a fantastic job of making this a prestigious event, a real national competition with timers and seeding teams and pool play and all these things. And it's generated a ton of interest in this. Let's talk about grow the game. It's doing exactly the mission of USA Curling. Gotten so much interest in this, and to your point now, yeah, absolutely, they have no problem filling 23 qualifying events.
A little wide.
I believe there was a weekend in January where there were 3 different 5 and under qualifiers going on and 2 other 5 and under non-qualifying bonspiels going on. Every single one of them filled. It was something like 130 teams, 5 and under, all playing the exact same weekend across the country.
Yeah, it's an amazing, amazing community.
I think that rock just crashed a
They're
little
one,
bit sooner than
obviously.
they were expecting. They're trying to just play a lightweight tap back, but it's not a
We could come
bad
down
result
here.
for Austin. He's got a lot of rocks over on that right-hand side, and now he's got almost some red corner guards on the opposite side as well that are kind of creating a stagger. So he has some opportunities to generate some offense here based on this setup.
Dave, let's tap.
Let's give it a go.
Tap it back. You can get around? All right. Yeah.
David electing to draw under here. Couple guards and one in the top house for them to get under.
81. It's a little bit hotter.
I think it needs help for weight. Yeah. Hurry hard. 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 All day. All day. All day. All day.
Let's go. Let's go.
Touch 4.
Nice touch. That's it.
Good sleep, guys.
Great shot.
Really nice weight from Andy Miller there, and great talk from everybody. They really talking through the communication as that rock was coming down, so they were all on the same page. And you saw Dave put his broom all the way on the edge of the sheet there. It probably helped bring that rock down a little bit. I think they said it was a little bit hot out of hand.
Yeah.
And getting that far out, it's going to slow down a little bit, maybe find some frostier conditions.
2 ways to make this double. Can take it over the top. Just gonna miss there. That's okay. Open it up. Again, those staggered guards are blocking the shot rock to some extent,
I don't hate a center guard.
but things are curling so
Yeah, I
hard
like it.
here that you can get around that with down
Easy on the
weight.
weight.
Yep.
So David's got to try to find a way to block that without giving Austin another chance for a run back double here.
Line's a little tight.
4-0. Let it be.
Where's
Let
the
it
weight?
be. Let it be.
Sweeper saying it's got plenty of weight on it. If you ever can tuck just a piece of this, that would be great, as that can help to kind of create a Christmas tree effect. Look at this thing really just move sideways at the end here.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. It's a great shot.
Really like that shot. Great communication from everybody. I know the sweepers didn't really get on that one at all, but really good communication, so everybody knew exactly where that rock was headed.
Yeah. Love to see the sweepers in the ready position, ready to go. We're going to catch that top one and spill over. That's okay.
That's a really nice weight on that hit. To be able to make that and hit it so thin, but yet still remove it from play and go under your guards, Just beautiful weight, really well
Try the
managed
same
by the
thing.
team.
Try again.
This is where it starts to get a little
Little
bit
bit lighter.
hairy if you're Hana. If you ever don't make that guard, it ever over curls, you're a little bit light or a little bit heavy, you could be giving up a bundle in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
I like this line better.
Same.
Just let it die. Let it die. Let it die. Let it die.
Line more important here than weight.
Okay.
Absolutely, and actually keeping it, almost wanted to stop it on that center line just to create as much as keep it as wide as you can while still blocking that rock. Since you've already got guards on the left half of the stone, try to guard the right half of the stone as much as you can.
You like the call here? Run back, and if they miss it, it's a straight peel.
To use one of my favorite curling phrases, I don't hate it. I think this is, if you make the straight peel, that's perfectly fine. You're making them make the shot, and when the ice is this swingy, you still have to execute. Even on a guard, you can just have some of those over curl. So I always like just clearing some rocks out, try to make that last rock, and we've seen that pile build up on the right-hand side. So Austin's got a chance for offense if they just make the straight peel like this.
Put it back.
Yeah, put it back.
And the risk of actually throwing that double, if you ever stuff it, you're probably going to be sitting pretty close to another center guard. So you're guarding there, you're putting another red right back where it was and leaving yours up there, making it easier for them to make another guard.
Right.
Almost impossible to dig it out at that
Right.
point.
So cat and mouse game here with David putting guards up and Austin removing them.
Okay.
Though if David
Something to
gets
honor near the center
his
would be great.
one, if he steals one here in an odd end, it's not the end of the world. Not a big deal. Low scoring game, give up one.
Absolutely. Early in the game, I'm someone I like to be a little bit more aggressive early on, so I always like seeing early in the game you have a
Line's
little
good.
bit more
How's the
risk
weight?
tolerance. As long as
Can't
it's not a
hurt it.
huge,
Yes,
too
yes,
aggressive
yeah,
of a
yep,
call.
yep,
I
all
like
the
trying
way.
to be aggressive early,
All the
put
way.
some pressure on your opponent.
Yeah, and to
Hurry.
your point,
Hurry.
knowing that if David
Hurry.
misses, then he's
Hard.
got a shot for a
Hurry.
pile of rocks.
Hard.
All the way.
Curl.
All the way. Curl. Curl. Curl.
Well, that needs to curl a bunch.
Curl.
That'll finish.
All right.
Good sweeping, guys. Good
shot.
sweeping.
Good shot.
I think Austin can get there with the intern, or is it going to
Yeah.
not curl enough on that line?
I don't know that it's going to curl enough
Yeah, I
on
think
that
so.
line. It's a little bit tough
Open
to
it for
tell
you.
from the angle here.
Yeah.
'Cause he doesn't need a lot of weight, right?
Yeah.
Hack weight gets the job done. You just got to kind of make contact as thick as he can with that rock, push it back to the back rings, and he'll be sitting three, actually.
Yeah.
And then
The
just
only
go to-
challenge
yeah.
trying to play the intern is the bigger amount of curl is
That's up.
coming from the opposite side, right? Sometimes when you're seeing more curl come from that side, you're trying to play against that. Rock can run a little bit straighter, especially if you put weight on it. I have noticed here, there's been a few times that even I've been a little bit surprised at how straight a rock has gone with any kind of weight to it. So you have to be really careful. It's a very weight-sensitive shot. At this point, I mean, Red's only sitting one in there. Yeah, like you said earlier, if Austin gives up that steal of one, it's not a huge deal. So trying to make a double here, I don't mind that at all. Creates some good opportunities for him if it's made.
Again, even a straight peel is a good result. Just get that shooter out of the way. It's like that's what we're going to do.
Card a little bit too thin. So still some guards out front now for David.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's just go in
if
here.
we can, well, it's either we're guarding one or we're coming in for second count.
We still got one stone left.
Right. So it's either
So
we
up high is good,
guard
but
our
if-
one. It's either we guard our one or we try for two and hope that they miss. We would
Let's-
need to.
let's try for the guard, and if it
Yeah.
if it overthrows a little bit, it sits up
Yeah,
here.
yeah. This is acceptable. Touching
Touching-
full 8
Touching
behind
eight would be all right. Yeah.
behind this guy.
Yeah. Just let's get the line right.
Yeah.
Feel like-
Same ice.
this is something we see pretty commonly in 5 and under. You sitting that one, you just want to guard it for your life. Not thinking on that last shot, you can come in. It's pretty safe. As long as you're not throwing something to create a double for him, if you were to tuck even just a piece of that and still sit second, that second shooter, then that's that much more that Austin has to deal with.
Lots of tolerance here.
Best guard is another one in the 4-foot.
Absolutely.
Line's priority. I think we need a little more ice.
The only thing you don't want to do is you don't want to make this shot for Austin.
Right. Don't take your guard. Don't set up a double.
I like the line. Stay close.
Line's good. How's the weight?
Stay close.
How's the weight? Easy, easy. Off, off, off.
Whoa.
No.
Stay close.
No.
Okay.
That sucks. Nope. Well,
I think Austin can come down to that with, again, just soft weight,
order out.
pop it out, and sit shot.
So I don't know if he'll build. It depends where he rolls. I think if he ever hits nose on that, I think he's the red is still potentially out counting. I think that last rock might have just gone just to the right spot where Austin's got to have a really careful shot here to try and almost roll to the side of the 4-foot.
Yeah, you're right.
Good enough.
Yeah.
I get one.
Tricky shot here. You want to make sure you get at least one of those to go, though. Don't want to get too cute and end up missing them both.
It's amazing how that a steal of an extra point is so much of a bigger deal. A steal of 1, not a huge deal. Steal of 2, start getting feeling a little bit different about how that end went.
Where we at?
Sweeper's on it early. Good rotation on the rock.
Curl.
It's like that back line kind of weight. Gonna get around the guard.
Curl, 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 curl.
How much does that roll back in?
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's gonna be 1 red. Maybe? That's close.
Yep, 1 red.
1 red. So quick break, and we'll be back for the 4th end.
Four, 1.
Can't hurt for
3,
line.
2.
Where are we at? Are we in? Whoa. I think we're close.
We're close.
I just let it die.
David with a steal there. Going into the 4th end. Austin's got hammer and an even end. It's a little early to worry about even end hammers, but never a bad
Maybe.
thing to have hammer in the evens. Austin looking to hit this and roll over, probably to a biter position in the wings. Got to curl a bunch.
He curled a bunch.
It did, in fact. Nice sweep, and it will just stay in.
Hangs on the
spin
biter. Look
back
at
up.
that come back into.
That's in. In. 2.
Saw a team do this weekend with the hand motion, the biter. I'm definitely going to use that from now on.
I love that.
Yeah.
I was always, I think one of the first things I was told when I started in Green Bay was it's a kindergartner. It's a little biter.
That is light.
Line's better. Yeah, for weight.
It's light. Hard. Come on.
Close, but no cigar.
Added bonus.
Austin with hammer. Instead of splitting the house, he's drawing over on the same side where his first rock is.
It can be really helpful to generate a lot of offense, especially because those
Yeah,
rocks kind of turn out to be guards, but you can also run the risk of grouping rocks as well that could eventually be running and
Right now,
create an
maybe.
opportunity for a team to take out multiple.
I don't know that there's a skip in this competition who's done more research on his opposition than Austin Binish has. He watches a lot of video, pays a lot of attention to what other people are doing, so definitely he's doing everything out there with intent.
Absolutely, absolutely. He and I are probably the two that spend a little too much time possibly watching some of those. We talked quite a bit about some of those things, so he'll know some of the tendencies of this Fairbanks rink, see what they can do, what their strengths are, and if there's any types of shots that maybe they try to
Looks
avoid
light.
throwing.
Where we at?
Feet go. Feet go. Feet go.
Yeah.
Go. Go. Go.
Hurry! What's going on, guys?
Yeah, a couple rocks really slow here. Not sure what's going on.
It's an Andy 416.
Oh, 416 is.
It's a little light, but we've seen plenty of that type of speed get in, so let's take a closer look here to see what we can find on a hog-to-hog time. Generally, we've seen a draw to the tee be about, start at the beginning of the week was about 14-3, but as the week's gone along, 14-8 or so. Should be a little bit heavy here, 14-1.
Yeah, sweeper's not touching it.
Still hangs around, so maybe the ice is checking up just a little bit. We have the fourth end
Normal
break
up.
coming up, and as we've heard
Normal
in
up.
past national championship streams, it's always faster after the break, right?
Absolutely. I think it's just the snacks that the teams are eating in that break.
Yeah.
Get you that extra juice flowing, right?
Yeah,
outside.
exactly. A couple Fig Newtons and you're ready to go.
That assumes far too much of a healthy decision for a lot of us during those breaks.
How's the line?
Curl! Curl!
Unlucky there.
Really challenging. If that just moves a hair over, that's probably a
do that.
double.
Not falling
and
this time.
goes feeling from okay, we feel okay about how this end is shaping up to now potentially being a little bit of trouble. Those rocks are behind the tee, so it's not as much of an issue yet, but they very much could turn out to be a problem.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Sweeper's jumping on this one right away. I think we might have seen another light rock go.
Not even Charles can get
Oh,
that
yeah,
one
corner
into the
guard,
house.
They got hammer.
One of the unfortunate things
You can
about
come
that
down
last
to it.
miss is that they actually made the double harder there. Even if they wouldn't have gotten both rocks out, but they hit that inside one and roll out to the other one, that's effectively
down to it.
neutralizing that rock.
Okay.
Yeah, and now it looks like they're perfectly flat right now. So just going to try and call a freeze here.
Freezes are tough even in great conditions. When it's super fast ice and super curly ice, even more difficult to make a perfect freeze. Anything that's not perfect is going to give Austin the ability to poke it out and potentially sit 3.
Where's the weight?
Good.
If you're ever going to miss this,
Gotta
the
come
way to
down.
miss this is heavy. As long as you're able to get onto that rock,
Right.
at least eliminate something from play.
You got to curl a mile. It's going through. Straight through.
Straight through.
He likes that draw again out to the wings. Threw it last time. Gonna have a conversation. He's not calling a timeout here. He's got lots of time on the clock.
Finish Rink
I mean,
doing a
it's a
really good
corner
job
guard,
of
I understand.
keeping their pace of play nice and fast. It kind of builds in the timeout for you, where you don't have to have coaches come out, anything like that. You can just have a quick conversation. I know Austin and Charles like to talk through strategy quite a bit, so this is a great opportunity just to take advantage of the time they've banked up to this point.
Okay.
What are you doing here, Ben, if this is you in this situation?
I would love to just come on. You just have a corner guard that you didn't want a corner guard to be there, but now you have a corner guard. I'd throw one onto that. If they want to come through and take those under the rocks, you're set up for a 3 at that point. You have 2 rocks that can't be doubled. You come under that corner guard, you're setting yourself up for a lot of offense and keeping the rest of the house open.
Yep, I agree. Looks like Austin is on the same page as you are. Yeah, as Joel Dietz, who's running the audio-visual here, says, two's great, 3's a bonus.
Especially in a close game like this. You don't ever – big ends are great, but when you have hammer, getting that 2 with hammer is huge.
Might be a little spicy. I can't.
Kevin's saying a little spicy. I like the different ways that we can refer to rocks being a little heavier than we intend.
Austin trying to bring that one deep so there's not a double there and there's not a place that David can
Potential
freeze
double
to.
here.
There is a double, but it's not an easy one.
Try it. At least get one.
I don't mind that call.
Yeah, let's
because
try
at
that.
the very least, if you hit
Let's give it a
too
shot.
thick, I don't want to hit it too thin,
Normal.
but if you hit it too thick,
Okay.
you're going to roll towards it anyways, and you're still sitting on top of it, making a tough
Where to
takeout
hit?
for Austin.
Yeah.
It's right here.
Take
Right
advantage
there.
of the fact that they are all behind the tee. They all serve as catchers in some way or another.
Yeah, I like it too. I think you got to broom it real tight here because if you flash here, it's disaster.
Exactly.
Line.
Line. There it goes.
It's got to hang on.
It's okay. So they didn't make the double. Not an easy double at all to make. They got one.
Yep, same shot.
3rd time's the charm for this draw under.
Take a closer look, see if what kind of time we can get on this rock.
It's better.
In theory, we're trying to hopefully look for something around probably a 14-4 based on what we saw in a previous line. We are playing the opposite direction, so we'll see where it ends up.
We're here. We're there. We're there.
In by 2 millimeters.
Oh dear, I don't know what's happening.
What's that?
Skated it just through the rink. So when he talked about in, he means it's not out of play. For a rock to be out of play, it needs to be touching a sideline or all the way completely through the back line. Unlikely that it's going to
We
come
have
into
hammer.
play here, but stranger things have happened.
Hammer. We do.
If it was a little earlier in the end, I would say maybe a chance, but you need a couple rocks to stack
Trying
up
to get rid
onto
of one?
that. You hope that
freeze?
rock doesn't come into play.
Yeah.
That means a whole lot of
Freeze
things are
would be
going
great.
wrong.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
If it turns into a heavy draw and we bump it back, so be it.
Sure. Like out here?
Yeah.
Like that? Okay.
Really aggressive play here from
Sure
David.
is, yeah.
I always like seeing some aggressive play. That shows a little bit of confidence. It's risk reward, right? At this point in the game, you have to start deciding if that's going to
Yeah,
be
that'd
worth
be
it
great.
for you.
If it
There's a
turns into
lot that
heavy
could go
draw and we
wrong.
bump it, then
Could
so
have
be
a
it.
few things go right, but you got to really put this in a perfect spot.
When he's seen Austin try to play this 3 shots in a row now, so he should have a pretty good idea what this line's doing. Just got to find the weight.
Line's good. How's the weight?
I'd go for line. Line all day, Andy.
It's okay. Andy, off, off, off. Off. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yep, 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 yep. Okay, okay, okay. Leave it at least that by.
Shot rock behind T. Austin's got to do something with that.
Yeah, hack weight. Stick around, but knock it out.
Just want to play hack at that. Don't want to curl anywhere past nose. Nose is pretty good, but a little rollover would be pretty solid too. So
Yeah, you just don't want to hit it too much on the high side here where it rolls back over, leaving a double, and suddenly your dreams of a 3 are dashed, and you're having to make a hit and stick for 2. So hopefully you can find the right spot to put the broom here, throw the correct weight at it, throw just enough weight to make the shot you need to make.
Yep. Yep, yep. All the way. Real hard, real hard.
Full 8 foot.
curled up a little more than they wanted.
They've got, yeah.
Still
they've
got
one
3
more.
rocks in the house,
Yeah.
but David's now shot.
Wait, they have hammer.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought we had hammer.
Always a good thing to be very sure of whether or not you have hammer. That can drastically change what types
Yeah,
of
we just
shots
need-
you call.
Sit in the top 4.
I have
Yeah.
certainly done that before and been surprised at the end of an end where suddenly I
If we
was
touch top 4,
not having the
we're
last
sitting
rock
2,
advantage when I thought I did,
then,
so I can appreciate that.
I may or may not have lost a final because I
Up
lost
here's
track in
okay,
the 8th
too.
end. So
yeah.
been there, done that.
Yep, absolutely.
You make that
We're gonna
mistake
come this
once, you
way,
start to
Andrew.
get a little bit better trying to
We're
remember
gonna
that.
come this way.
Well, I'd love to say I only made that mistake once.
Well, I've made the mistake more than once, just only once in a final. But I have to make enough
You don't
finals,
wanna
I guess,
try
for
to
that to be a
protect
mistake
this?
more often.
What's that?
Don't want to give anything they can run straight back.
Right. So
Come
what
in and
about
sit up
like
here.
top 4 center line? Yeah.
Like 45
This is one.
degree angle is the
Yeah, yeah.
most difficult double to make. So they
We
kind
just
of
want
want
a
to make
top
it
4 center,
45
top
degrees
4
out.
center.
There's a great point from, I like Andy speaking up there. Don't want to give them anything to run back.
This side.
I would, yeah, play the opposite side here. You know the side curls a lot. Anything on
Honestly,
the other
anything
side of
just
that center line is
full
going to be really
8 foot
nice.
is great. Second count. Little less ice.
Narrow.
Narrow's okay. They got
the
lots
weight?
of room to work with, so
That's good.
If there's ever a time to be narrow, it's when you're drawing to the fall side of an ice and no guards to worry
Yeah.
On
about.
its own. Go, 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 go. Off, off, off.
Go
off.
for weight.
Yeah, 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 yep, 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 yep. I should have kept you guys on.
Well, it's going to outcount 2 of Austin's rocks. I'm
Is
not
that
sure it
second?
outcounts the 3rd. It's close.
I don't know why they got off on the sweep.
So now Austin's trying to see, because
Feel
if
like-
his yellow, if he believes his yellow to be second shot,
Yeah, I
he can
feel
just
like
hit
it's
and
worth
stick on
playing
the back red
negative
and
now.
get a 2. If he doesn't think that he's second shot, then he's probably thinking about playing that double. Even though it's a very difficult shot, the risk reward is maybe there.
Yeah.
Or he can just play a straight draw for a 1. Those are his options.
And his draw weight is usually fantastic. Again, having good front end, good people to bring it there.
I don't
He
hate the
does
draw
a great
for
job
one
handing it off to him.
right
So it really
now.
just depends whether or not he thinks he wants to get the officials involved for a measure or not.
So if you think that red's 1-2 here, if you're convinced of that and you think you're 3-4-5, are you playing for the 1 to tie it up
Yeah.
after 4, or are you playing the double to try to score 3?
Oh, you hit it and
I'm
then
playing
find
the
out
1
about
here.
that?
There's a lot that can go wrong if you try to run that red rock. It's a really long run to make.
Right.
If that rock was a little bit deeper, I might feel a little bit more confident about that. But if you ever hit that in the wrong spot, I mean, it's hard to tell based off of where that yellow is in the very back of the 12-foot. But if it runs straight back and stuffs, you might have still given up a steal of 2. And that's just not an acceptable outcome here. So you really have to make sure that you're securing your 1 to not create a bigger problem for yourself.
And if you're not sure who shot, you ever play at that back rock, try to nose it, just in case the measurement shows that you are, in fact, second count.
I don't mind that. I really don't mind that at all, but it really depends on your comfort with the ice. We
it's
saw
so
them
late.
try to draw down on that same side of the ice and struggle trying to play that correct weight. Now, they probably could have played that same draw weight and just given it a light tap back, but it really comes down to what you're comfortable with.
Nope, 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 nope.
Austin going to draw the button for his 1. Perfect. So we'll go into the 4th end break and be back in a few minutes with this game knotted at 2. Well, we're jumping into the second half of this game, and fun fact, one of the rules here at Curling National Championship is that you have to have somebody in the house.
Are we in?
So earlier in this match, team did not have somebody in the house, and the sweepers and the shooter were putting it down there, and because there wasn't anybody in the house, their rock got pulled. So they've got one sweeper right now. Austin's coming back. He's back on the sheet, back to full strength. And Austin, again, in the spirit of 5 and under curling, noticed that Matt Mellon was about to do the same thing and walk off and have 2 of his players, the sweepers and the shooter, be the only ones on the sheet, and saved Matt from having a rock pulled as well on a sheet next door.
Looks a little narrow.
403. Close.
Hard line.
Hard line, hard line.
Hard line.
Hard line.
Line all day.
Easy, 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 easy.
Freeze is never easy to make, especially on ice that curls this much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Austin going to ignore that rock in the back of the rings and put up a guard here.
Something we oftentimes see from 5 and under skips is sometimes a little bit more focus on rocks in the back of the house. Those rocks can be catchers for you. They can help you out. So it's nice to sometimes see that, like, you know, Austin knows what he's doing here to just leave that rock there, get yourself set up. Don't have to worry about that one just yet. That's not causing you any problems, and it might end up helping you.
We got it. We got it. We got it. We got it.
I like,
This-
Try again.
I like Kevin's confidence. We got it. We got it. We got it.
Yeah, and especially knowing that David didn't want to hit it the first time makes him think that maybe he's not going to want to hit it the second time either, so it gives him a little confidence that, hey, even if we don't make that guard perfectly, I think it's probably still going to be okay. And in fact, David is not hitting it,
A little slower. Little slower.
trying to play that freeze. To your
Gotta
point,
Gotta work.
very
Gotta
difficult
curl a
shot
little
to
bit.
make under any ice conditions,
Yeah,
but
bring it in.
especially different
Bring it
here,
in.
difficult here.
And this is the side of the ice that does fall more as well.
Hard. Hard.
Or curl more.
Hard,
My
boys.
arena is showing. I'm
Hard,
sorry.
boys.
Really well made shot there. They would have liked to get that more on the nose, but that's a really nice shot.
Yeah, that's a beautiful shot.
Great weight adjustment from Pete, and the sweepers called that out immediately too, saying that that was definitely a little bit lighter than the previous.
Sweepers on it early. Trying to freeze another one down there, top of the pile. Looks pretty close. Really nice shot.
Great way to come back from the break. You got some, got some
I like
refueling
coming
in
up
the
to it.
system, and now it's
Yeah,
just
I
nice
like
to see
it.
everybody really start to fire.
Either T-line or maybe like back 8.
Yeah, like a soft tap here.
Tap, there's a
It's
quick
real
foul.
gentle. Don't need to get crazy with it.
Yep, just adjust those angles just a little bit.
It'll be good. Seven five.
Where's the weight?
Pretty good. It's close. How's the line? How's the line?
Yeah,
good.
go, go, go.
It's gonna die. Go, go, go.
Hard.
All the way. All the way. Let's go.
Hard.
Let's go.
Looking really good. Oh, just over curled a hair.
Just wrecked. They need to get on that a hair sooner. They might have been able to save that.
We saw. Sorry, go ahead.
You heard them asking David, where is it? Where's the line? Where's the line? That's the communication at any level, I think that's one of the biggest things that 5 and under teams, you see the more successful ones be really good at communicating as the rock is coming down the ice.
Right.
They've generally been pretty good with their communication, but you heard Andrew asking a little bit more, hey, where's the line on this one? Where's the line on this one?
Right. Yeah, and sometimes these lines that curl that hard, you almost want to start curling before you think you need to.
Yep,
right? So
absolutely.
start calling for the sweep before you think you need to.
If you realize you need to sweep, you probably are late.
Yes. Gonna snuggle another one down in there.
I love that weight. That's such a great spot for that rock.
with
Now,
that there now.
you can play that tap for David, but if he plays a tap, that red is the first one out as soon as any rock with weight is thrown onto it.
Right.
Yellow's still one.
Yeah, it's that back yellow that's in the way.
And Austin doesn't mind giving up one here. Force is great for him. So
If we touch this a little bit, we could kick it back. We just have to avoid that.
it's making it really difficult for David to get more than one
Once
here.
you clip the red.
Absolutely. David was talking a little bit about which one is
So
shot.
maybe same shot,
Don't hit
same
that.
weight.
It's still early enough in the
Yeah.
end. It's your second rock. I wouldn't necessarily worry right now who's shot rock.
Right.
75
I
is
almost
okay.
think you have to just jostle, like hit
Yeah,
that
we'll
top
stay
yellow,
quickly.
the one that's just at the top of the 8 foot, move things around, shake some of the angles up in there a little bit. If you actually manage to hit that on the inside, you might even clip that back yellow,
75.
make the angles better for yourself.
Where we at?
Don't focus too much on where the shot rock is.
Yeah, to your point earlier, when you're setting a
It's
goal
gotta
for the
curl.
end, if your goal is to get more than one, they've got to poke some things around in there.
Yeah, Andrew. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Whoa. Beautiful, Andy.
Beautiful, Andy.
That's what they were looking for on the previous shot. So they did manage to make it this time. There's a double there if they ever hit the inside of that red. They can hit both of those out. And yellow's sitting at least 3, maybe 4.
Gonna deal with that later. We're gonna clean up the reds.
Yeah, if they hit this wrong, I think only one red goes. I think there's all kinds of jams there. I think that shot rock is going to jam on the yellow, and I think the red on the left is going to jam on the red behind it, and that back red is the only one that's leaving here.
Absolutely. You heard them talk about cleaning it up a little bit. There's not a ton of cleaning that needs to be done. The yellow rocks are the ones sitting above the tee line. Those are the rocks that are either helping Binish or hurting Hania right now.
They did get 2 rocks to go, so not exactly what they were looking for, but a good result for them.
I actually really like that result.
I think it's better than
They can still slam
what
that.
might have happened if they'd hit the
I
hit
think
the
we
way
gotta
they
go
wanted
here.
it.
Yeah.
David playing very defensively, guarding his one.
If you ever want a telltale sign that with hammer you're in tough shape, if you're calling a hammer or a guard with hammer when your vice or skip rocks, you're trying
Where's the
to
weight?
hold on for dear life
Yep.
at that point.
Close. It's a little up. It's got to curl. It's not curling. Ah.
And to be fair, Austin is in a very strong position here. So to your point, his rocks are in a commanding position on top of the house. So any kind of weight they tap those with is going to send that red back out the back of the house because there's nothing there stopping that from happening. And I think that's probably what we're going to see Austin play here.
If this shot's made, it'll be interesting to see where that yellow that's at the top 4 foot right now, where that ends up. There's a chance it might scoot just a little bit off to the left-hand side, open itself up for Hana to potentially play something down into that, back into the 4 foot after, and he has that backing, so kind of a few different ways to make that run. So interesting to see how the rocks shake up if this shot is made.
Yeah, I think I'd try to hit it about a third of a rock and really kick that rock over hard. So then to your point, it
Good weight.
continues, jams the red and the yellow back, but then that yellow flops over to prevent David from being able to draw down in there. Really nice. Great result.
Yeah, I really like that shot from Charles. Good weight control on that as well. Really nice line. David's got some thinking to do.
Yeah, he's in a little bit of trouble here. And again, he's not trying to figure out what he wants to do necessarily with this rock so much as how he wants the end of this end to look. And so how is he shaping the board, so to speak, so that he can control what it's going to look like in a couple rocks from now.
And it's amazing how much one really high center
we gotta
guard
come
can
in
cause
here.
challenges for you, because there's a few different ways to make some potential doubles there, but that center guard that's been up there since the very first rock of the end, or the second rock of the end,
That's just gonna jam.
just causing him all kinds of headaches right now.
Got more room on the right side.
And those reds in back now, more of a concern
wanna
as
go normal?
jammers than anything else.
Damage control. Oh, I think I just touched that.
I feel like it's a
Think we
little
gotta go
early to
normal?
concede damage control.
Okay.
I think you can still get your one here.
I agree. I think this is still a good shot to play here. That opens up the forefoot a little bit more. You can remove two of those yellows, have a little bit more space to work with.
Yeah, I do like this call a lot.
We're wide. Whoa! I said wide.
Almost caught a piece of that yellow there
All
as
right.
well, but
Edge of 12?
Austin's got a chance to
Okay,
really
so
put the
sounds good.
screws in here. And again,
Where
we
do you wanna
talked
be?
earlier about taking away what your opponent wants to do.
You
He
care?
knows exactly what David wants to do, so he wants to
you
take
don't
that
care.
away.
Yeah, okay.
even with a made guard, there's still a few different ways for David to get in here. Either he can try to clear some yellows out on that left-hand side, try and give himself some kind of a draw path on the left. There is also an in-off or a double potentially off of that yellow that's out on the 8 foot on the right-hand side of the ice. So there's a few different ways for him to potentially get to shot on his last. So Austin can't cover everything up here as we go into skipped rocks.
Right, absolutely.
But take away the easiest shot, or especially the shot that they just tried to play, they're probably going to try it again.
Nice rotation. Your point earlier, Austin's really been feeling his draw weight.
It's got a curl. Let it curl. Let it die. Just let it die.
And that rock it was a well-thrown rock, but overcurled
Try to
just a
come in
hair.
here.
I think it's still probably in a good enough of a spot that
The old Dave Hana in off here.
Sure.
That's trademarked, by the way, the old Dave Hana in-off.
It's heavy draw weight.
Yeah.
Maybe hack. If we're heavy, we want to hit it skinny.
Yeah.
I may or may not have see one
want
of
it
those in
skinny
an A
regardless.
final, and I didn't want to see the old Dave Hana in off. Except that one was for 3, as opposed to, I would have preferred if it was
Yeah.
looking like this at that moment.
We're doing the old Dave Hana in off here on the right yellow. Hackish weight.
I understand the shot call. I would have maybe tried to play something on that left rock instead. This is still going to be there on your last unless Austin decides I'm going to take that away and hit it myself.
Line.
Yeah, in-offs are,
Hard
again,
line.
Yep.
super difficult to make under great
Yes, yes,
conditions,
yes.
and the Chaska
Hard,
conditions are
hard,
so great,
hard,
they
hard.
make it more difficult by being so swingy.
If he ever noses it, he at least gives him himself something
Nope,
to use
nope,
later. And going that far out, not as much of a likelihood to utilize it.
Well,
The old Dave Hana in-off isn't there anymore, so what are you thinking about Austin doing with this shot?
I think Austin can put a ton of pressure on Dave.
only way to one is it. They can
playing anything. We were talking earlier when Dave decided to play a guard instead of or drawing in, and he drew in and resulted in a steal for him.
Yeah.
Austin might think a little bit about trying to guard that left-hand side. He can just, if he draws in on that left-hand side, he can get right to the forefoot, and then Dave has to throw really, really lightweight to try to limit the damage. He talked about limiting the damage earlier. He's really into that position now. Looks like Austin's still maybe a little bit concerned about playing that hit over there. But at this point in the end, I would almost consider just lobbing one into that 8-foot area and having that many more rocks for Dave to have to deal with.
Yeah, Austin just threw this. I would love, if I was Austin, to take a little bit more broom and just kind of poke that one in the top 4 back a hair. Sit 4 instead of 3. Not really giving Dave a way to do anything about it. They're going to have a conversation about it. Again, they're not using a timeout here. They do have a lot of time left on the clock. They have a couple more minutes than Dave does.
As long as we
Don't touch that stone.
No need to use a timeout here if they don't have to. But I do like
just put it
sitting
on
4,
yeah,
either
put
on
it
the
on
left or the right side
fighting red.
when this is all said and done.
Absolutely. The challenge is the left. You haven't thrown too much in the last few shots on that left-hand side. The right side, they know that line a little bit better.
Yeah.
They've been just throwing that. So.
Yeah, and he just threw that side, so
I like this.
throw the same thing on that right side.
If he makes that draw, he makes that draw.
But again, to your point, left side works just as well.
Yeah.
The only thing I worry about here is if you leave that right side open, can Dave come down to that 1 and back 4 and kind of get 1 maybe? I don't know if it's going to curl enough to get in there. It's close with how swingy this ice is, but
Yeah, I think you might be able to get in there to limit it to 1 for sure. But that'd be the type of shot if he makes that, I hope there's people banging on glass somewhere for a made shot like that.
absolutely.
A little tight. Where we at?
To your point, they haven't thrown a lot down this side. Not as much rotation on this one.
Yeah,
Roxanne is carrying
line.
really nicely. As long as they get by, do they get by
Coming
the
down.
second one here? Oh,
Yeah, looks like they will.
Oof, really nice.
Beautiful. Boy, I'm not sure what Hannah does here. He does not have a lot of good options.
How can we minimize?
Coming in with a little bit of weight here could potentially jumble things up enough
Yeah,
to
that one's
minimize
gonna
the damage.
That one's going to be a problem.
It is going to be a problem.
Look at that line. If you could just skirt around that,
I mean, there is the old Dave Hana in off on his own in the back
do
4
something.
foot. You'd have to throw a ton of weight at that, hit it just off nose, and
What?
try to get a roll over to full 4.
we should.
And that is something that, again,
Time.
5U skips tend to struggle with a little bit, is thinking about, especially rocks in the back of the house. You tune yourself in so much to, I need to keep things above the tee line, above the tee line. When you get to the skip's last rock, you have the whole 4 foot to work with. You have that whole circle. You're not just doing this top semicircle that sometimes we really focus so much on.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that's an easy shot or that's the right shot. They've got a lot of terrible, terrible options here.
Barely missed that.
So let's
What is
listen
your
in. Oh,
least-
sorry, go ahead.
What is your
No, we're
least
trying
bad
to
shot that
go
you can
around.
find?
Exactly.
Around this, we're trying
So
to
we'll listen
minimize
in and
damage
see
control
what
here.
they're thinking about.
There's this.
There is that, but it's just going to jam against the back one. It would take one out.
Well, if you hit it at the right angle, those would split. Then they get 2.
I think that's the safest shot. I don't like this side because of that. That up top. You can see most
And if I'm like really wide, it would tick here, and then those would squirt out. And maybe,
Yeah. Do that.
what do you think, Andy? Oh, he said 10 seconds remaining. I thought we had 10 seconds left in the timeout. Oh.
I think you can see this one more than the other side.
So throw it with some heat, and then we're going for damage control. Best case scenario, they're sitting 2 then.
Or they get to. We got hammered.
Well, yeah, this is hammer. Yeah. Best case scenario, we hit and split and give them 2. Not ideal.
Is that enough?
So we like this call too. Trying to cut them down, damage control here. Got a good chance to double out 2 of those rocks, maybe even get 3 if enough weight and you can slash it in there. It's a very difficult shot to get 3 to get out of there, but it's maybe possible.
Line!
Hard, Pete!
Hard!
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 Great attempt. They did get 1 to go, so it's a steal of 3 for Binish.
It was a really nice job to hold that line, though. It's hard to stay with a rock moving that quickly. To be able to hold that line, get it in there to at least get rid of one of those rocks.
You see your life flash be up before your eyes when your ankles are right next to a rock that might be clipped at peel weight. Hoping your skip has got your best interest in heart there and is not trying to play the shot so badly that he's willing to risk your life.
This is also why I play skip, so that I don't have to worry about doing those things to myself. It's self-preservation for me.
Like a 3? Yeah, 4. We're in. Yeah.
Starting off the 6th then. It sounds like this one's coming into the house. Austin likes being up 3 here.
Just do it in a reverse order like
Try to
this.
keep it as clean as you can. Work through there.
And as a skipper, as a team, what does it feel like when it's a tight game, 1-1, 1-1, and then one team gets a 3? What does it feel like as the team to get the 3 and the team that has the 3 scored against you?
Narrow!
When you get that 3, you start thinking about, oh,
Wait.
wow, what's gonna, like, I'm actually gonna get through
All
this.
day,
Am I
then.
gonna make my way out of this? You have to make sure you don't get too far ahead of yourself.
All day.
If you are the skip that is on the flip side of that, you just have to make sure you keep your focus on, we're still in this. We just
Whoa.
need a couple made shots,
up.
maybe a few things to go our way. This is not the first time that Hana has been down 3 after 5. In the Fairbanks 5 and under final, the exact same situation happened, and he had a great 6th end. He had the old Hana in-off got him a 3 in that 6th, and it was right back in it. So just keep your head in the game, get yourself some rocks in play, and try to take advantage of that free guard zone. I saw that they tried to play into the house on that one. Generate some
Control.
offense. You need some rocks in play to do that.
Austin removing that rock and going to spill out the back. Probably doesn't mind that that back one spills out, especially because it's behind tee.
Right to it.
Dave's going to try to freeze to this one again.
Where's the weight?
Weight's higher. A little higher. T.
Got to curl.
There it goes.
Hard curl.
There
Hard
it
curl.
goes.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Take a look. All right, Pete.
That's it, Pete.
Really nice shot.
Really nice shot.
Austin just going to play down to that one instead of hitting it. It's an interesting choice.
Sometimes the right call isn't necessarily the best call for that situation, especially in 5U. I know Kevin can make these shots, but sometimes you as a skip know what preferences your teammates have. The best call is the shot that your teammate is going to make.
Absolutely. It's pretty good.
Gives them something. It's a pretty short run from there too, so if they ever want to try to run anything back and still keep a yellow in play, they can.
Yeah.
Dave trying to draw another one down on top of that. They make this, they're going to put a lot of pressure on Austin.
75.
Wouldn't be
Where's
surprised
the
if we
weight?
see that run coming in
Same.
sooner rather than later
Little up.
if this is made.
Looks way heavy.
It is.
It's coming down. Yeah, line. Hard, hard, hard. It fit halfway down.
We all know that feeling.
Been there, done that.
Absolutely.
Again, playing that side, we've seen that a few times this game. That one they said they just kind of bit out of nowhere, but sometimes that side away from those pillars in the center of the facility really moves a lot. So you have to be careful with it. Make sure you have brooms down the whole way down.
Yeah, and they did have a couple rocks that they hogged earlier on that same path coming down that just were way shorter than they were expecting.
Sometimes when a rock moves so far sideways, it takes away that up and down the sheet movement.
Yeah. For it to break.
Right in the button.
Just a touch heavy there. Looking for T-weight here.
Where we at?
Heavier.
Again, not a lot of rotation on that rock. It's going to curl really hard,
Let it work. Let it work.
especially on this line.
Oh.
It's a little saucy. There it goes.
Yeah, it's a great example seeing how that extra weight can hold those a little bit straighter, even with that lighter rotation. Still hangs in play though, so potentially something that might serve as a counter later on.
Weight's pretty good.
I like the weight.
Weight's good by itself so far.
Still good.
Still good. By itself. We're T plus.
Yeah, we're on that deck, red.
This one also communicating it's a little warm. And as that speed comes off it, you can see it curl up there.
Right up to it.
At some point here, Dave's going to have to start to deal with all that stuff on the right-hand side. You take advantage of that red rock. It's getting a little bit later in the end here, so hopefully maybe on the next rock he's going to start trying to shake some
Looks
things
a
up
little
over
tight.
there.
Stay close. Stay close.
It's up.
Andy.
looking pretty good.
Actually, might clip that shot rock.
That's fairly.
Ooh, it
Oh,
got by
just
it.
missed it.
Got to be
just-
careful with how much that moves over.
Just a little warm. And how much does fatigue come in to play in an
Yeah,
event
at
like this?
87,
It's a
so.
national championship. You're excited to be here. Your team's doing well, and it's the 4th game. You know it's a big game.
It certainly comes into play. You really have to make sure that your sleep schedule is good, that you're, getting proper nutrition as you're going through this. So it absolutely comes into play. And this is their 4th game.
Yeah, he
They
wants
had
it,
2 yesterday. This is their 2nd game today. They've probably been up since 6 or so this morning. And you add in some of the factors that you don't necessarily think about beyond the game. You take into account the fact that you have the pre-event practice an hour long on the day before the event starts. You have pregame practices that can be a lot of up and down. So there's a lot that you have to do to take care of yourself, prepare your body for this to be a bit of a grind.
Travel to get here, which obviously is a little
Might have
bit
to start
longer from
peeling.
Anchorage, but
Okay.
even from Milwaukee, it's still a 6-hour drive with no traffic.
Both of them?
Yeah, that Fairbanks travel to here, it's probably a 4-hour flight to Seattle and then another 4-hour or so flight to Minneapolis. Thankfully, we're at least close to a major airport. Last year, they had to go all the way up to Hibbing for that one and add in a drive on top of it.
Line.
You got your wish here. They're
Whoa.
doing stuff with middle rocks to open things up.
Unfortunately, it still stays really
I think-
clogged up here. So David's going to have to do a lot of work on his last 2 rocks to get himself a point, maybe 2. There are some catchers in there that
Yeah.
might end up working out for him, but I feel like
Yeah.
that was the one where they really need to shake things up to put some pressure back on Austin.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're heavy, we'll go behind. Shoot for. Yeah. Yep.
Heard him say if we're heavy, we'll go behind. You do have that other red catcher in there, so a chance for them to kind of lob some in. I feel like your tolerance here is probably light. Probably want this to be more of a guard. That's where I would probably rather throw this, have them deal with more rocks, the more that you can cause them to have to navigate in David's final 2.
Where we at? Where we at? Yeah. No. Let it finish. Let it finish. Good son.
It's not going to accomplish a whole lot.
The other thing I was thinking was the run back, but that's gone.
Right. Let's try to open it up.
Okay.
Kind of nose on the yellow.
Sure. Yeah.
Got to open it up. Nose yellow.
We are opening it up.
You want
We'll see if it's
which side?
in time.
Let's try this turn.
If he ever hits the inside of that yellow, there's a chance
Left
that
side.
that red might actually run back into the button. That could shake things up for him.
Yep. There's also a chance if he hits it wrong just by a fraction that he chips out his own second shot and leaves yellow sitting a pile.
We don't talk about those options.
Okay.
Gonna clip it.
Yep.
Straight peel at least makes Austin have to put something back up there for David to have to navigate again.
How much more? Behind it more. Yep, yep. Yep. Your pass.
Set a little more weight, so they're now trying, instead of playing the guard, playing a draw here.
Yep.
I just completely pulled my muscle. My leg. No, I can't put any weight on it.
You okay?
We have a technical.
Going to take a timeout.
Put any weight on it.
Unfortunately, we heard David say here he pulled a muscle in his leg and can't put any weight on it. You hate to see that.
Now it is like a 8 out of 10 pain right now. Do I come in in the next end?
What's happening?
Once you come back in, you can't go out and come back in again, right? I'll let you do that one time, the second time. So, right now, with an injury, you can come off, your vice would throw your last rock here.
Yep.
Next end, if you're not able to play, your first would throw free, your second would throw.
The only thing you got
vice would throw
is run that red back and hopefully just pop the others.
As soon as you come back in, you go back to your normal rotation. We just have to be at the start of an end that you come in. So if your first end, we only have to throw 2. Make sense?
Clear as mud. In my current, I'd be thinking clear if I wasn't in like excruciating pain right now.
You can't throw this rock right now. Just come out for an injury. Your vice would throw this rock, and somebody else would be declared the vice at this point to hold the brook. Okay? As soon as you come back in at the beginning of an end, you're good to go, and you reset the lineup to your normal.
Okay.
So the official explaining the options there, basically saying that David can come out now. His vice can throw this rock. If he comes out, then his team will carry on with the lead throwing
Pulled a muscle before in
3,
my life.
the second
now,
throwing 3, and the vice
now I
throwing
do it.
2.
Calf or hamstring?
Right here. Yeah. As soon as I got down, it just like ripped. God.
I've certainly pulled a calf muscle before in the middle of a game when I haven't had enough water, and we were talking just a minute ago about the strain on teams and the travel and the dehydration and the playing 2 games
so
a
if I
game,
have
2
Andrew
games a day.
throw right now, this is hammer, so we go to the minute break.
Yep.
Then I decide later.
At the end of that minute break, you just tell me whether you're going to be in or not in the next end, and we'll set the rotation for that end. And if you sit out an end and you can come back in, then we can go right back to your normal rotation.
Okay, Andrew, throw this rock, and then we'll reassess.
Who's going to hold the room then?
Be Andy? It's got to be the left red run back.
Yeah.
You tell me the angles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be.
So David in a lot of pain right now. He's going to come out.
The officiating crew here has been fantastic all week, especially for a lot of folks. Now, both teams here are returning. They've been at a national event before. But the officiating crew here has been so helpful, knowing that some folks are here for the first time or encountering situations for the first time, giving opportunity, giving some leeway, but also making sure they're firm but fair with their situations.
Pretty much knows.
Cannot speak highly enough of the crew here and the job that they're doing, the time that they're putting in to make sure this is a good event for the competitors.
Little bit less.
Absolutely.
Not a bad result, actually, all things considered. That's a really nice rock.
Yeah, clutch substitution coming in right there.
Yep.
I think it was still 1 yellow, but
Okay, thank you.
we'll come back in a minute for the 7th end. So really can't say
actually be a
enough
guard?
good
Yeah.
things about the David Hayner rink. You know, having to be in that situation where if they come in
Yep.
and throw a
Like
rock
a
unexpectedly and,
3?
and made a good shot, and
2.
Austin still got one here in that end, but got 2 ends left to play. With finish up 4.
So it looks like at least for this end, we're going to see David
Or
stay out for this one.
tight
So hopefully the calf
do you
can
think?
start feeling better a little bit sooner rather than later, and maybe
Okay.
get back in here for an 8th end.
Should I take this off? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, they probably don't.
Close. Got plenty of room. Plenty of room. Curl if anything. Yep, there it goes. Go. Yep, on its own.
Really nice draw from Pete to start off this end, especially when you have a lot of challenging things going on and managing.
came out on the other
your skip
side.
comes out. The fact that Pete can come in just like that and throw a fantastic rock to just get him started on the right foot. Maybe over curled the hair, but that's exactly what you need to just get everybody to calm down just a little bit.
Right.
Oh, board.
Nice shot there.
Great weight control too.
Try to hit
Called
and roll.
board that looked like just perfect board weight.
Just come across it. Narrow, narrow. Line. Line, line.
Not a lot of handle on this rock.
That's a
Sweeping
field
for
goal.
line.
No, that's a field goal. We'll take it.
And such a challenge here to come in as a substitute skip and put brooms down when you haven't been doing it all game, and maybe you haven't been practicing that for weeks or months, and not knowing the lines, not knowing the brooms.
No. No wide. I'm out.
Looked like the Benish front end maybe ribbing each other a little bit.
How's the weight?
Second peeling the rock that the first threw as,
Andy,
as a
how's the
guard.
weight?
Always good when you can keep it nice and light
Hammer it. Hammer it.
in the team, especially when things are maybe getting a little bit tense.
We can. Let's go.
Always good to make sure you're having a good attitude and good spirit about everything.
Absolutely.
No.
Yeah. Eh.
He's going to keep hitting his own rocks. Again, his goal here is not to score. His goal here is to not allow the other rink to score a bunch. So rocks in play are really only helping the red team right now. Doesn't give him a place to hide, doesn't give him a place to jam if he can clear out the house and play a very clean end.
That is the challenge, though. If whoever knows that rock, you're just leaving a better guard for
Red
them to
freeze.
potentially play behind, and you make a run back a little bit harder for yourself.
Is that enough for you?
This Fairbanks rink, it becomes a little bit more of a team exercise to work together to find the right lines, to figure out your weights together. Obviously, a little bit more strain on the front end, needing to sweep a little bit more, throw an extra rock apiece, and you're only one person on the rocks. You know if there's sweeping needed, it's
Pete, all the way.
you. It's not your
All the
teammate.
way.
Right.
As much as we can.
Curling almost 45 degrees there. They did get that into the rings in a pretty good position nudge it up against one of their other rocks, so not easy to remove that rock.
Got that for now?
Austin going to switch up from hitting here to drawing one in.
At this point, try and keep the Fairbanks rink busy. Make sure that they can't do a whole lot with trying to get anything else set up. Keep them busy with other rocks in play that they have to take out. At some point, there does become a thing as too many rocks in play that can then be used for red to potentially try and set up a score of a few.
Good throw there from Charles.
Is that enough?
Andrew's going to try to come down and
enough ice?
freeze on this one.
Yeah, Pete. Yes, yes, yes. All the way. All the way.
Pete putting everything he's got into this rock, trying to get it there. Really nice sweep from Pete to help carry that down the ice. You know you're tired at this point. You just got to will yourself to keep going. Great job from him.
Yep.
What's up? Off field.
It's amazing how one player coming off the ice just makes it look that much emptier everywhere else.
All you. Three-pointers.
You got it the second rock. Just a tap.
These teams do have to manage some changing ice conditions. Both teams on the two sheets next to them are empty. So that can sometimes impact a little bit. And it looks like the sheet directly on the other side of the center part of the facility here is also empty. So see how that might impact, maybe how far some of these draws go. Maybe things get a little bit frostier
Line's
out
good.
there.
How's the weight?
Right.
Let it come down.
Have to adapt to changing conditions.
It's got to come down. There it goes. Go, 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 go. Yes, Pete. Tapped it.
Good shot.
Another good shot from Andy. Another good sweep from Pete. Really actually get himself set up into it. Not a very bad situation here for the Fairbanks strength. There's a lot of work to do yet, but
Yeah, I think the double
Yeah,
jams, if they try to play that.
yeah, it's hard to say where exactly that angle
Speed.
hits, and I think it also might depend on where on that
Yeah,
rock
like that.
Austin hits it.
Make them make that.
If it hits the side of that rock and both of them spill out, or if it does just straight jam.
Yeah, I think it probably hits the side of the rock and they both go, which is not a bad result. But Austin doesn't want to find out the hard way that, in fact, would dead jam. To your point, playing conservatively, make the other team make the shot to beat you. Don't make the shot for them.
Yep, yep. Yeah, line. All the way. Yep, get it out.
Little light to your
Yep,
point.
yep.
Ice conditions might be changing out there. Might be getting a little bit slower with only a handful of rinks left out there playing.
We're going to try to inside out that. If we hit the right side of that yellow, it's going to kick over and probably pop theirs.
Playing the double here. If they make
Normal.
this, they have potential to sit 4.
Those rocks are very flat, so I don't know if he'll be able to remove that rock or move that shot rock far enough here.
Nope, it's not good. Not going to move enough. Plan B?
All right. Well,
Got a little wick and got one of them to go.
I think so. Yep.
Fortunately, it's
Yep.
still underneath those staggers, so it's not really any
I
way,
think we gotta come that
at least with those 2 reds, to get there unless you're playing some kind of circus shot on this last one, maybe using that red on the outside to try and get there.
Yeah, I think that's the only way to get that rock out is running the corner.
Now that that potential jam is gone, they're not going to play the hit, but they could, in theory, have played a hit two here just to remove one of those reds. But looks like they're going to play probably a guard here. Curious how much the ice conditions have changed.
It's gonna come over, right? There we go. Yep, curl.
It's a little over 16 seconds to get himself to a guard. So still moving pretty fast yet.
What weight?
Hey, do you think he was guarding there or trying to draw another one in?
I'm not sure what didn't really catch what their call was. I didn't see them tap that down.
Hail Mary. Same weight, clip that red and try to kick it over to the yellow.
Tribute to his skip, throwing the old Dave Hanna.
Absolutely.
Love to see it.
No better way to honor him than to make this shot.
Really close.
Yeah,
Really close. Great attempt.
very difficult shot.
What? Yeah.
And we got handshakes.
Good drilling,
So 7-2 down a person. It's a win for the Binish rink. They're going to move to 3-1 in pool play. Hopefully Dave Hanna is feeling better soon. We wish him nothing but the best. It was a fantastic game, again, between these two teams battling it out. Ben, thank you for joining in the commentary, and
We were red.
you'll be back in the commentary tomorrow.
Thanks for having me. This was awesome. 2 really good teams. Really hope that that when I'm back in here calling the game tomorrow morning, that David will be back on the ice tomorrow playing as well. So
Absolutely. And we'll be back for a draw at 8 o'clock tonight, Central Time. So thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you more soon.
Andy, watch your heels. Is that a little bit thick? A little bit thick.
Like a centimeter or a millimeter.